Hello and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season number 5 here on HeflaTV 1. This is game number 2 of a best of 2 series between G7 and Kingdom. I'm GrandisV. Once again, I'll be joined by Couchor.
Yes, indeed you are, and I'm just hoping for G7 to pick up a Meepo now. Maybe it's like, okay, we're one game behind, guys. We need to play seriously. Let's get ourselves a Meepo. Though they do start the draft rather standard. Bans exactly the same as in game number 1. Also, a Vengeful Spirit removed now. And Kingdom themselves, even banning out the Brewmaster. I guess G7 having the first pick definitely could have gone for it in that case, but Kingdom, Shadow Fiend as the starters, and maybe we're gonna see Lion as the secondary one, possibly.
Yeah, I don't think there's a great reason to not go for one of the supports here, but I don't know. There's plenty left inside the pool that's really strong at this point. If they don't want to go for the line, Axe is available, and maybe that's what Kingdom want to get their hands on, and potentially something to dissuade G7 for going for that Meepo.
It's really funny that Axe, although yes, he also got nerfed a little bit, it's just suddenly ain't that popular for a pick. Mostly still gets banned out just to make sure, but definitely haven't been seeing a hell of a lot of Axe recently, to be honest. I mean, do you feel like the nerf was worthy of suddenly that hero being semi-forgotten, or I mean, I myself think Axe is still strong just because you can initiate in pretty much every 10 seconds. I mean, it's on a lower cooldown than your Blink is.
Yeah, I really think that he still should be a pretty top tier pick, but who knows? The meta is very finicky. We'll see Sniper, second picked up by G7. Right now, they do have the Venge to somewhat help out this Sniper, but we'll just have to see. It is a little bit safer since Kingdom have gone for the Tidehunter, and well, that will dissuade them for going for the likes of a Bat or a Clockwork, especially since they do have the Nether swap, but still, we'll have to see how they utilize this hero this game. We'll ban out the Storm next.
So just removing mobile heroes, which Sniper really cannot deal that well against in mid lane, for example. Storm Spirit before level 6, yes, there's no way to ball Lightning out, of course, but Queen of Pain, for example, Sniper, I'm not too sure if Sniper would be too afraid of the aggressive capabilities of the Queen of Pain, depending on the skill build of the Sniper himself, of course. Queen of Pain, I think, is a little bit more dangerous as a laning opponent than a Storm Spirit probably for the Sniper, at least before level 6. But even then, just to make damn sure that Sniper won't run into any troubles and the Kingdom will have to send a Shadow Fiend in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think so. And Sniper Shadow Fiend is a pretty interesting matchup. Both heroes starting out with pretty low base damage to open things up. Can be pretty darn close. But Shadow Fiend, more often than not, ekes ahead unless you have some support rotations, which could be a possibility. We'll have to see what Kingdom settle on for their second ban in the second stage as well as their next pickup. I think Lion should be involved in some form or fashion here.
Yeah, I think Lion and Earthshaker for either side might not be too bad at all. Just Earthshaker up against Shadow Fiend or a Sniper, just getting the long range stun. You can pretty much start from your own side of the river and stun him at the other side. So as far as mid lane ganking goes, Earthshaker definitely nice to just start up the gank pretty much. Now though, Kingdom, they are just removing core heroes first, taking out the Troll Warlord, Medusa next. So do they want to make it so that G7 is going to have to play the Sniper in that one role?
I don't think you can actually force that out, really. I think the G7 should have plenty of a pool to pick from. Honestly, I don't think Medusa would have been the course of action for them. I'm not exactly sure what that would mandate. I think Kingdom would probably be pretty well equipped to deal with that hero, just with the amount of damage reduction that they have. Between the Requiem of Souls and Anchor Smash against Medusa, she hits like a kitten until she gets some really major items.
So if you're G7 now, you already have the Vengeful and the Sniper. Is it their turn to go draw this time?
Maybe. I like Dro this game for G7 quite a bit, but we'll just have to see. It's going to be a Witch Doctor next for Kingdom, and well, if it's not going to be the line, it's probably going to be the Witch Doctor. Combos really nicely with the Tidehunter, and synergizes decently well with Shadow Fiend's minus armor, and more than anything, just a really solid hero. Can't really go wrong with the Witch Doctor.
It's definitely a nice setup with the Ravage for the Death Ward, and Wood Restoration will be nice in most situations. It might even be enough to make so that whether he himself or somebody he's trying to heal up with the Wood Restoration is going to be able to survive an Assassinate, for example, just thanks to the little bit of heal coming in. So always nice to see Witch Doctor as well. One of the more fun supports to just keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely so. Has the potential to do a lot of work given the right scenarios. G7, we'll have to see what they settle on. They could go for some pretty safe picks, but right now I think that they should probably invest in some sort of front line to keep the enemy team off of the sniper. Right now, it's not really existent. They only have 2 picks, however. Plenty of time in the draft to remedy that.
Well, it's with them being one game behind, definitely not too cautious and just taking the time. That is exactly why you have the reserve time anyway. Some teams they don't use it all that often, or well, maybe it depends a little bit on the magnitude of the game itself. But Faceless Void the pick for them. I guess it is nice. One of the just ways to make sure the Tidehunter cannot even just purge off anything with the Kraken Shell. While you're in the Chronosphere, you are completely stuck there. But I, in general, favor like ranged heroes against Tidehunter and Shadowfiend both. First of all, if Shadowfiend dies, your Requiem of Souls will do a hell of a lot less damage if you're ranged. For the Tidehunter, you're less likely to get anchor smashed. So this Faceless Void, is it going to be off lane or do they play it in the one role or will they just see how Kingdom drafts and then react?
Probably going to err towards the last one and still remain flexible with the Void pick. I'd prefer to see it in a position 1, though. I really don't think that offlane Faceless Void could do very much. I don't know. It definitely does offer a decent amount of setup for Sniper to just go to town inside the Chronosphere, but yeah, we'll just have to see what they settle on. Sand King's going to pick up 4 Kingdom, and yet another big teamfight ultimate to throw into the mix, and another way to start fights on their own terms. I quite like it. I'm not sure that G7 are going to be able to punish a greedy Sand King, and even if they don't play greedily, Witch Doctor Sand King can do a lot of work in the laning stage.
They can indeed. I mean, maybe Burrow Strike not to get press stun on level 1, but Witch Doctors, Paralyzing Cask, all those though also maybe not the best stun in most cases, but should be just enough setup for the Sand King to get close enough, especially should the Sand King even start with boots, which quite a bit of Sand Kings do. For G7 though, even as a support, could they consider a Silencer now, seeing the Kingdom is rather ultimate focused?
Yeah, that wouldn't be a terrible pick for them. That could work out.
So we'll see. They have a solid minute left in the reserve time, whereas Kingdom only down to 4 seconds of it. Then again, only 1 ban and 1 pick to go for Kingdom. G7, more or less the same situation for them as well. So Lion, funny enough, still not picked up either. Could this be one of the games where we're not even going to see a Lion?
Yeah, maybe so. I think right now it doesn't feel like there's much room in it for either side.
Oh man, G7. It's... Well, Ancient Apparition, definitely a nice setup for the Faceless Void, of course. Just easy Ice Blast into the Chronosphere. Chilling Touch can help out really with anything. But at the moment, is there any chance for a Meepo?
No. I really don't feel it. Right now, Witch Doctor Sand King, one of the scariest supporting duos to go up against as a Meepo. Maybe you switch out that Sand King for an Earthshaker, but other than that, it really feels like this is probably one of the worst Meepo games that you could ask for. Shadowfiend does a ridiculous amount of damage. Tidehunter with Anchor Smash means that you're not doing very much at all, and well, on the other side, you're dealing with a Faceless Void, which in and of itself is probably enough to dissuade Kingdom from going for the pick, so it would be ballsy. I think G7 would have to have a lot of faith in their Meepo player if they went for it.
I guess maybe Kingdom themselves are going to just whip out the surprise Meepo. Maybe Faceless Void is pretty annoying against Meepo, but other than that, well, maybe Sniper as well, being able to at least try to single up or single out a single Meepo there. We'll see. Probably not going to happen, but I can keep my hopes alive if nothing else.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
What else could we see that usually doesn't come out? G7 going for a Huskar, for example?
Also, I'm really not feeling. I think we're kind of grabbing at straws here for heroes that we'd love to see, but
I mean, Kingdom, they do well. Then again, they aren't like that magic heavy. Witch Doctors therefore is physical, so Huskar wouldn't be that great anyway. I guess Shadowfiend also does quite a bit of physical damage if need be. It's just would be nice to see something refreshing as Kingdom picking up an anti-mage. I guess in a sense it is refreshing, but it doesn't make me as happy.
it's not the ideal anti-mage game, but I don't think G7 are going to be able to put enough pressure onto him early to stop him from farming. And if they do, it's going to be drawing all attention away from the Shadow Fiend, and it really feels like they can't keep both of these heroes down. I think Kingdom have found themselves a nice combination of heroes throughout the game. really feels like their weakest point is the laning stage, but I don't see a clear opportunity for G7 to actually abuse that. Maybe you go aggressive with the Venge AA +1?
It might be like one of the better options, but it's not going to be the strongest tri lane, I think. We'll see if they want to go for that. It's going to be extremely risky, but it would also serve towards the purpose of Sand King not having the free time to just farm and stack up the jungle. But man, going for the Temper Assassin now, their firepower is definitely impressive from G7. Their lockdown, though, not at all. Chronosphere, even that is not that easy to just catch an anti-mage in. Also, Vengeful Spirit, a projectile stun which anti-mage can just blink out of. And that is their only disable.
Yeah,
It's just going to be extremely hard to kill this anti-mage, I think.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, to introduce our lineup, so we'll have to see how that all plays out. Kingdom are going to be playing on the Radiant side, with Chase handling the Tidehunter going towards the off lane. Looks like we're going to have a mid SF played by Li Hong Ki. Beyonce going to be playing on the Anti-Mage. Fruits on the Witch Doctor. And leaving last but not least, Sand King by Draken or Yumu Kumpaku.
As for G7, they will have Shout heading towards the offlane as the Faceless Void. We have Ling, or Linger, I think. He's usually on the Vengeful Spirit with Kenji, playing the Sniper as Leo is on the Temper Assassin, and Kalai will be the last one on the Ancient Apparition. So for now, looks like just a safe lane tri lane, playing it absolutely safe, which means Kingdom, Anti-Mage, absolute free farm, I assume. Sand King should have a pretty nice time as well, just dominating the jungle, kind of. And G7, man, once this Blink there comes out on Sand King, they're gonna have lots of issues, and G7's lineup in general, apart from the Faceless Void, how do they initiate fights? Is it really just Psionic Trap and try to run them down?
Pretty much. Right now, a lot of pressure onto Shoti, and after the first game, I'm not sure if he's up to the challenge. We'll just have to see. It's a time that he can redeem himself from that Tidehunter performance.
Well, it's gonna be hard, to be honest, but Faceless Void, definitely a playmaking kind of hero, so we'll see if the Chronospheres will be a little bit better. This time around, it's definitely harder to mess up the sequencing of just Blink Ravage than just Time Walk into Chronosphere, because if you don't Time Walk, you're probably going to notice, or even if you don't notice, you're not going to be able to Chrono just because you won't be in the range for the position you wanted to Chrono.
We'll just have to see. Right now, top rune spot seems to be the place to be, at least if you're on the Dyer's side. Bottom lane, probably not going to be contested as heavily, even though Faceless Void is here. It looks like he might look for a cheeky Time Walk into steal, or maybe looks for a lucky bash, but either way, let's see. Dire side going to get that top rune pretty easily with just the power of Chilling Touch. Shadow Fiend as well as the Anti-Mage going to get into a fist fight with the Faceless Void, but he snags the bounty rune and time walks up to the high ground with 2 stacks of Tangas as well as the south. He'll be pretty happy with that exchange.
So G7 managing to pick up both bounty runes, definitely a nice start for them. Especially, I think, yes, Leo was the other one, so gonna be a slightly faster bottle for the Templar Assassin, starting with Brave Band otherwise. Shadow Fiend, though, going for a bottle rush. You see Brave Band quite often just to make sure you get those early Necromasteries. At the moment, though, this start with Shadow Race is just to try to harass Faceless Void a little bit more. So no Necromastery quite yet, and with 40 damage, it is extremely hard to outlast it, the Templar Assassin, who as well, with Refraction sitting at 89.
Yeah, I'm okay with him not going for the Wraith Band. Even with that extra bit of damage, it's still really hard to outlast a TA, and I think getting that faster bottle is probably going to serve him a little bit better, but already he's pad out of mana since he spent all of the raises to secure himself that extra bit of bottle gold. Eventually, SF is going to pick up a little bit more in the lane, but for the most part, TA is going to have this on lockdown.
So at the moment, Faceless Void has already been able to hit level 2. So not all that bad for the time being. Of course, as Anti-Mage gets more levels, he can possibly handle Faceless Void solo as well once you get the Mana Void. Or at least make it so that if Faceless Void really wants to just man fight, he's at least going to be out of mana, so he's not going to be able to time walk once the supports come in. Sand King, of course, just trying to counter ward the vision, but this Observer Ward slightly above that magic push. He will still get countered out, but it did take 2 centuries for Draklan to find it.
Oh, Witch Doctor fighting with the Faceless Void. It's going to be first blood for Shoti after a pretty easy time walk in. That Witch Doctor just can't pick a fight with this hero. And, well, he's found himself a big opportunity here. All 3 of the lanes are looking pretty good for G7. Their off lane are getting first blood, mid lane is winning, and Sniper also not touched that much.
Smoke is broken by Chase though. He comes in. He's gonna pick up the haste as well before it gets snatched. Has the anchor smash. Will get stunned up. Might even lose his life. Chilling touch does so much. Nice body blocking as well. They need a little bit more. Oh god, uphill miss I think it was, which saved Chase's life.
Yeah, very unfortunate for the Dire supports. Almost enough to get the Tidehunter. If that's most other runes, I think Chase is dead, but he'll be able to ace his way back to base. It is going to zone him completely out, and well, this Tidehunter not having as good a time as the Void by any means. Only sitting at level 2, whereas the Void, after getting that first blood, is almost at level 4.
Man, like you said, pretty much all the lanes aren't going all that great, although Anti-Mage still has some pretty decent last hit numbers. It's also the amount that the Faceless Void is getting out of this lane. He's already level 4. Of course, 3 last hits, maybe not as impressive, but the first blood definitely more than makes up for the lack of a couple of last hits. I mean, Tidehunter, for example, level 2.5, does have a Podle. It's Lee Honky's Podle, never mind. I was like, no way he's been able to farm up a Podle with the items he has. But he's trying to stack Ancients as more or less the same that Choate had to do in the last game as the Tide, but Tidehunter so far definitely struggling a hell of a lot more than this Faceless Void is.
Yeah, definitely so up. See if G7 are able to keep up this momentum. But an early level 6 on the Void definitely could do a lot of work. Void is going to scout out the enemy jungle, finds 1 stack, but not 2. Maybe they can steal that, but maybe he's looking for a gank on ESF. This is not something you expect. Time Walk again under the tier 1 tower by the Faceless Void, who is in the off lane. They missed the Meld Strike. Can they actually secure this kill? He's bottling up. Do they have any other way to actually catch him out? And it looks like he's going to be just fine. Maybe the Void even gets up a kill, or does he? No, looks like everybody's going to be able to walk out of here safely. Although they ping out the Void, he's salving up, and now it's going to get bumped into by the Witch Doctor and the SK. He's going to get his salve canceled. First hit bash onto Fruits, but they do have a Burrow Strike and should be able to turn this one around. Burrow Strike through, cast to follow up. 1 raise, 2 raise, second raise going to miss. They need a little bit more damage, 1 more auto attack. Can they actually find it? He turns around. Shoti, Time Walk away. He's gonna survive, at least for now. They actually can't chase him down. This Faceless Void living a little bit dangerously.
Like, oh god, I guess he wanted to Time Walk immediately, but got a little stutter step from that, I don't know. Still survives, so in the end for him it's fine, and also he managed to waste a hell of a lot of time from Kingdom, to be honest. That's just time support, they are pulling, mid lane Seraphine wasn't farming, and all in all Seraphine, the only 7 last hits for now is absolutely miserable, to be honest. Does have a couple of jungle stacks to farm later on possibly, but man, just not a great start for any lane, and they might even lose a tier 1. Maybe not the fastest push from G7, but it's reasonable. Tower down to half HP, and Tidehunter by himself can't do much about it.
Yeah, definitely not. Right now, I'm not sure G7 could ask for much of a better start. They did leave the Anti-Mage in bottom throughout all this, and he is leading the last hit chart. So bottom lane, I suppose you can call this a win for Kingdom, but it should be going better, I think, is the biggest issue for them. It's just a solo Void, but they weren't able to zone him out since they let the Sand King go through the jungle, and for now, he hasn't actually been able to benefit from all of the stacking that he's done. Not level 3 yet.
So G7 getting a nice farm, especially on this Temper Assassin, but if you're Leo, what is the first bigger item you go for as they get the jump under the Shadow Flame, slowed down by the Psionic Crab, 1 more attack, never mind, Magic Missile gets the kill for the Vengeful. But what is the first big item you go for on the Temper Assassin? Do you still build drums, Josh Shower? Is it a blink game?
I think just going for the race car build is probably the course of action here, but no matter what it is, I think Leo is going to be able to do quite a lot of work.
Man, bottom lane showed he is a absolute man. He just went to man mode up against Anti-Mage and Fruits both. He just didn't care. He was right clicking with the Anti-Mage, who only has 1 point into mana break so far, maxing out Blink instead. So Faceless Void having a really comfortable time on this bottom lane.
Yeah, he is, and he's getting very close to that Chronosphere. Even though we're not going to have level 6 for the AA, and there's not much else to throw into the Chrono, it might just be enough. He'll be forced to Time Walk out, as he didn't really want to get caught in a corner with that Witch Doctor, but yeah, I don't think really anything has changed inside of this laning stage. Kingdom, they're getting farm on the Anti-Mage, but he's not able to contribute immediately with this, much like the Medusa we saw last game. Although it's really nice to have a free farming Anti-Mage, don't get me wrong, it's not the end-all be-all for the enemy team, as long as they can punish it sometime in the next 10 to 20 minutes. 10 to 15, rather, excuse me.
Yeah, once they hit the level 6 on that Faceless Void, it should be easy enough to punish it in most cases, or maybe not punish the Anti-Mage directly, but just go for the kills on the rest of the map. And for Kingdom, I was so hoping for Drakan to get a hell of a better time, to be honest. There hasn't been anything to really stop his jungling, but he just now with this pull hits level 3, so he can finally start farming up the jungle, but the stacking hasn't been impeccable for now, not by a long shot, to be honest. So he's gonna start with the medium camp, get some easy farm, but Shadowfiend, of course, wants to farm up usually the closest camps. So how much will the Sankey even do? Or, well, Jace in the meantime, gonna get cold feeted up. Shrapnel even comes out from Kenji, although not necessary. So G7, they're off to a start, kill-wise at least, that Kingdom had in game 1.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they're able to keep up this momentum. Right now, yeah, that's pretty much the state of everything. Waiting for level 6 on the Void before we really see anything. Deep dive from Beyonce going to cut this creep wave, but this could get him in a little bit of trouble. If they have enough creeps dying, that is. 2 bashes over onto the anti-mage. Shoti is going to be just fine. Now they bring in some TP support. Beyonce has a blink out. Can he even use it? However, he's getting headshot by the sniper. They'll finish off the Witch Doctor first. Blink away. Not going to keep anti-mage safe because he's not able to disjoint that assassinate. Double kill for Genji. That was a little bit overzealous for the anti-mage, I feel. Now the Shadow Fiend, oh no, he's just dying to a creep stack, never mind.
Yeah, got me panicked there as well for a second. I was like, what Shadow Fiend, what is it tying to? I mean, Faceless Void and Sniper were on one lane, it's like, how is that possible? But 8 HP, I guess that's 7 more than necessary for Shadow Fiend to survive there. Gets quite a bit of farm, I do believe it was maybe even a quad stack he farmed up here. But Kenji, every now and then, it definitely pays off if you just carry a TP, even on the core heroes, to make sure you can rotate in like that. Suddenly, Mask of Madness finished. If somebody gets close to you, yes, you might be extremely screwed thanks to the Mask of Madness, but it is kind of a core item on Sniper. Usually it's like Mask of Madness into Maelstrom or into SNY, something like that.
Yeah. Well, right now, Lee Hunky is going to be going for the Yules build. Refraction is going to keep Leo's safe in mid, at least for now, but he takes a lot of harass. We'll be forced to bottle up for the time being. It's not over for Kingdom, but we'll just have to see if this anti-mage is going to live up to the space that he has, or at least has at this point in the game. First item for Templar Assassin looks to just be the Phase and Yasha build for Leo.
I guess Yasha is like an item you can never go wrong with, especially on agility heroes. I mean, movement speed will always be nice. Also, some extra damage, extra armor up against, well, any physical damage will help, because Seraphine also provides the minus armor, so it's gonna be nice. Although, I think Blink in general in Templar Assassin is pretty great. Once again, since the change that as long as you have Refraction, you can still blink even if you take damage. Or well, I guess you won't take damage because Refraction will disable it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Right now, we do have that Chronosphere for Faceless Void, so King do need to exercise a little bit of caution here. If Void gets one too many bashes with a TP in, maybe even from the Sniper again, could be pretty easy kills. Yeah, 5-0, G7 have found themselves a net worth advantage of about 3k and experience in a pretty similar ballpark thereabouts. Double damage ring going to spawn bottom for Shoti. We'll have to see if he's able to do anything with it, although maybe it's Leo that's going to make the plays. He's looking very aggressively behind the enemy tier 1 tower, and he finds himself a pretty free chase. Misses the meld strike. I don't think he can get this kill, so he's going to end up backing off.
Shoto is just sitting in the sandstorm for such a long time, drops down to about half HP. But he's still on the hunt, still has double damage for at least half the duration. He's gonna run into Yomo now, another sandstorm. Come on, Chrono it. He's gonna Chrono it, he wants it. He's like, you will not defy me any longer. Although Paralysis is buying a bit of time. No, Burrow Strike though, for some weird reason. Sunny Fruits, he's gonna be screwed also. Gets another time lock. Okay, first of all, no idea why there wasn't like an immediate Burrow Strike almost. I guess he wanted to get the perfect timing to make sure Paralyzing Cask and that Burrow Strike don't overlap, but Paralyzing Cask only 1 second because, well, there was nothing to bounce to.
Yeah, it was also a really awkward angle. Honestly, I'm pretty surprised that he didn't do that the first time he was sandstormed. I'm pretty sure he contemplated, which is why he sat so long. 3, 2, 1, we're going to have a pause coming out from Kingdom as the anti-mage has DC'd, so hopefully that's not going to last too long.
Man, Shot, he is definitely making up for the performance last game. I mean, offlane Faceless Void, he's 3, 0, and 2. I guess 2 of those 5 were with the help of the Sniper rotating in as well, but even so, being able to bait enemies into a situation where your TP rotations can come in and get counter kills easily without you dying, even that is a great feat for an offlaner in most situations, so this Faceless Void performance, maybe it's just him being a hell of a lot more comfortable on the hero, maybe it's the laning from Kingdom, I don't know, although if I look at the tri-lane just on paper, I wouldn't have expected Faceless Void to have even like half as good of a time as he has.
Yeah, and he's going to get a tower deny. Look, so Anti-Mage's going to blink for it. He ends up not getting it. Now Show Team maybe in a little bit of trouble. Could be forced to time walk. No, not even going to be the case. I was kind of hoping he'd get that. But either way, Anti-Mage is going to get away with murder in some sense.
It's you have to mess up. You can't even call it like messing up big time or anything. It's just usually when it's game is paused and you're praising somebody, like the next minute they do something maybe not bad, but something not worthy of praise.
Yeah, I don't think that's like necessarily a bad play. Maybe just not expecting it. Leo, really low on mana, sitting down the bottom rune spot. Spotted out by the Anti-Mage. Should be a pretty easy kill. They get the Burrow Strike, and I think Leo's just dead. They do have defensive swap out from Ling. It looks like Benj is just going to be paying the Piper in order to save the TA. They are going to get a defensive swap, and now potential turnaround. The Ice Blast lands onto all three. They look to lose Ling, but will they even do that? Kenshi going to be able to secure the kill over onto one. Blink away from the Anti-Mage. Where did he actually end up? Over in the side, the Assassinate flies through. Beyonce with 1 point in the spell shield is going to keep himself alive to live another day, although that's slightly redundant. 1-8 going to be our kill score after that.
So a support for support, beautiful swap to be honest from the Vengeful Spirit as well, already being level 7, having that to his disposal. And suddenly Kingdom Yomo manages to get himself the Blink Dagger after all. He's only level 6, so Burrow Strike is still only level 2. But at least he has the Blink Dagger, so that opens up some doors for Kingdom for sure. At the same time though, we have a Midas picked up on Kalai's Ancient Apparition. Already saw the Ice Blast coming out before. Now he's just gonna make sure that he's gonna get guaranteed levels, guaranteed farms. So Aghanim Scepter at the 30-minute mark, the latest, should be done for him.
Yeah, definitely so, and I think maybe even more important, this ensures that he gets level 11. As an Ancient Apparition, it's really easy to fall behind when it comes to levels and just kind of chill on the backlines, and this way, he's not going to be punished for it. G7 going to find themselves a tier 1 tower down towards bottom with the Mask of Madness on the Sniper, as well as Templar Assassin going to town onto it. They are going to lose this tower pretty much for free, although tier 1 tower in mid might take a little bit of damage for this. Nothing too damning.
So Lee Honky going for that Yule Scepter Shadow Fiend build. Is this the best build to go for? I personally maybe even would have preferred like a semi-utility mech, for example, for their team.
Yeah,
Although then again, up against Ancient Apparition, his mech is maybe so-so.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I really feel this Yule Scepter. We'll have to see if he's able to get any kills with it. Right now, Faceless Void and the Vengeful Spirit are tied together, but they don't find anything to actually jump on. But yeah, the Yules is really nice defensively up against Chronosphere if you're not inside of it, and pretty good against the Templar Assassin too. BKB, although eventually be up, isn't going to be for a while. They'll find a poor Witch Doctor down to the bottom. That was a lot of damage. I thought there might be a double damage rune on Leo, but no, it's actually just going to two-shot the poor guy. Not enough HP.
Yeah, they had a way of turning as well. Kenji though gets thrown up in the air by the Yule Scepter, Burrow Strike to follow, so they get the kill with a couple of Shadow Rays, and now Kalai himself in a lot of trouble. But suddenly Magic Missile comes in from Linger. So Vengeful Spirit, is he going to be able to do it? But they're going to have a swap back. Oh, nice Burrow Strike lands onto Leo, does come in as well, kills him. It's only the Death Rectum, I don't think he got off the real one, he didn't. But there is a pause because Anti-Mage disconnects and Shout in a lot of trouble, but Yomo Burrow Strike on cooldown and doesn't have enough mana for another one anyway.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're going to chrono for this one. Do they have any other detection for this SK? I think SK survives here unless they commit that ulti. Up to them.
Yeah, I guess it's maybe even worth it to go for a kill like that. Just pop the chrono, at least get a solo kill. I'm not entirely sure. It's hard to say, it depends on what the game plan is for G7, but since quite a couple of heroes are extremely low in health, you might just pop the chrono because all of you are going to go back home anyway. You're going to have to regen up, so you might not fight until the chrono is back off anyway, or would be.
Fair enough. And especially if they didn't check the mana onto the SK, if he had a Burrow Strike, maybe he could get a kill. They'll just commit the chrono, easy kill, and now it's time to back off and heal up, at least for the time being.
So in the end, a 2-for-1 trade. Started off with a pretty fast sniper kill. Sniper couldn't do much of anything. But losing 2 in return, G7 definitely nice reactions as Leo. He's gonna go for chase. Tower already was destroyed. Blows up one Psionic Trap. It wasn't even close, but my freaking god, that melt damage is outwardly. Of course, did go for the blink as well, and he really just finished the blink, I think, before they got the kill on Fruit's bottom lane, and suddenly has another 1.2k gold.
I have no idea what's going on with Beyonce. Maybe connecting to Southeast Asia from wherever in the US she's living right now is not working too well. The AM is very close to Battle Fury, however, going to be 50 minutes. Battle Fury treads a little bit higher than that, but still looking pretty good. for Kingdom, but still needs more time before he can actually have an impact. Still have yet to see the Yules do anything for the SF as well. Right now, G7 are primed to snowball themselves to victory, although they're on cooldown a little bit longer before they can comfortably fight. Once we have that next chrono, I'd expect them to go for some sort of major objective, be that Roshan or Tier 2.
So for Kingdom, I don't think we've seen a single Ravage thus far, right?
Not to my knowledge.
So still doesn't have the Blink Dagger. 15 minutes in, he has about the same amount of gold that I believe G7 themselves had in the last game of the Tidehunter. Also didn't use a single Ravage until like 17, 18 minutes in, I think. So Tidehunter performance-wise so far seems kind of similar, but it's just Kingdom. It's not like they've even grouped up for a fight because they want to have anti-mage farming. They want to have the Blink Dagger on Tide before they really make use of him. But they don't have any ancient stacks to really abuse either for the Tidehunter to catch up a little bit faster there. So G7, like you said, they might be snowballing. They definitely are at the moment. Even their supports are getting pretty nice amount of farm. I mean, Urn of Shadows will also be finished on the Vengeful Spirit. Especially if you compare that to just Fruits' Witch Doctor, who has only 700 net worth, just doesn't even have boots. My god.
This is the saddest Witch Doctor I think I've ever seen. 0, 5, and 1. He hasn't found an opening to get that Death Ward combination off with the Tidehunter, and yeah, as you've mentioned, he doesn't have boots. I thought he had brown boots based on his net worth. Where is the rest of that 700, though? Right now he has, like, 360 inside the bank. He must have boots on the courier, right? Like...
No, it's not there at least. Maybe it's... Is it on the ground somewhere? Does he have, like, Tranquil boots on the ground?
It wouldn't be Tranquilos, though. Those are too expensive for this guy.
Oh, yeah, they are. I have no idea. It's... Maybe that net worth is bugged. Maybe he has even less than it says. Oh, wow.
Oh, my goodness. He's actually playing
Maybe
like...
he upgraded the courier and the courier has been counted into, like, his net worth. I don't know.
I honestly don't know how that counts, but right now he's spotted up by a Psionic Trap to add insult to injury. If anybody was close, like, one Meld Strike actually just one-shots him. Ice Blast, no! Fruits, no! Oh! That poor guy, he's dead.
Oh, man. Psionic Traps, OP, guys. Nerf the vision of it. Oh, man. Every now and then, supports have game as these, but if it keeps on going at this pace, and if Kingdom managed to win the game in the end, at least it's gonna get like a Melk award. Although I believe it was Erudite, also a Division 2 team from Southeast Asia, that had a Rubik which was like 124 and 5 or something, and their team won.
Well, 0-24 is what counts, and he's spawning his way towards it. My goodness. 30-minute boots the dream. Either way, Beyonce caught out by Shoti. No Chronosphere here means probably no kill, and Antimage is going to be forced to blink out. But that's all she wrote. For now, G7 are just waiting for that cooldown, but they can take Roshan very easily. Venge and TA, that minus armor is ridiculous, as we've already seen on Heroes, and we're going to see it again. Chase eats a Meld Strike to the face, and he's just going to get the run down by Leo. Probably going to have to drop that trap, and indeed does so. Chase 1, 2, and that's going to be Leo's dominating spree.
Well, Tidehunter, he is pretty much the tankiest hero, I think, on Kingdom's side at the moment, at least as far as taking physical harassment goes. But even with that, Temper Session just way too fast with the Asha face boots as well, of course, and some nice Psionic Trap placements there as well. And Leo has picked up one Mithril Hammer. Is it a straight out Desolator? Are they going absolute man mode, wanting to blow people up? And well, they want to blow up the Shadow Fiend. You'll set the easy use, but 3 more heroes are coming in. Kingdom, they're just getting picked apart completely.
Yeah. As we mentioned in the draft, what they lack for in lockdown, they make up for in damage, especially when you're ahead. I think Deso is a great item here for Leo, in all honesty. What else are they going to do to stop him? I mean, right now, he does have to worry about a Blink SK and a Titan, so BKB should be inside his build at some point, but I think he can afford to greed it up, especially if he has an Aegis, which they will do so very quickly.
I guess also just, in a sense, having more physical damage, more minus armor, makes it easier to kill anti-mage. They don't have too much lockdown, so with the Desolator, they can kind of guarantee that at least if you get Magic Missile as an anti-mage, you're gonna die even through that 1.5 second, or well, about 1.5 second stun duration. And also, taking towers faster, everything, man. They have the Aegis now. Kingdom, when do they decide to fight? When are they like, okay, we can't give away more towers? Is it really just tier 3s, or do they start defending at tier 2s already?
I don't know, it really feels like they want to buy more time for this anti-mage, and they kind of have to wait for tier 3s for that, but at that point, is it too late already? I'm inclined to think so. They need to pull the trigger sometime, and I think that depends on G7 doing something frankly stupid, like diving into the fountain at this point is probably what it would take.
Well, at least Kingdom are trying to go for somewhat of a trade, or at least force G7 back a little bit. They were pushing out the mid lane. Anti-Mage does pick up a Vladimir's offering. I guess it gives you some extra mana regen, some life steal as well, so you won't be ever on low health while farming up the jungle, especially if you're farming up the enemy jungle. But that just means there's no meta style to even dodge that single magic missile, for example, if need be. It's gonna make it maybe a little bit harder. Then again, I guess it's not gonna set him back all that much. We'll see how it's gonna work out, but this anti-mage needs a hell of a lot more. The one positive though, Chase does finally have his blink on the tide.
Yeah, I'm okay with the Vladimir's pickup for the anti-mage. I think he just needs more time, and this will buy it for him so he doesn't end up getting picked off. We have a gem on the Sand King, we have the double blinks up, so I think this is the time. And, well, out of nowhere, Witch Doctor is, by like 400% increased his net worth. He has arcane boots.
Wow, massive. That's not too bad at all, considering what he was sitting at a little bit earlier. Although, oh god, they might find Leo here. They might get an easy Aegis. Then again, nice Psionic, not Psionic traps, but Psyblade. Fruits goes down so easily. 2 attacks, then a melt hit as well. Leo, of course, tanky double damage, definitely doesn't hurt. Bottom lane though, Chronosphere comes out, but the Blink Ravage buys a little bit of time. Kenji's still safe just because the Chronosphere made it so that the Epicenter didn't do much of anything. And now Kenji with the Mask of Madness movement speed will be able to outrun them, I think. Trying to TP out, but Yomo will get the Burrow Strike, so it's going to be a kill for a kill. Chronosphere also on cooldown, then again, so is the Ravage, but Sniper kill pretty huge for them.
Yeah, I think Sniper's chances were probably a little bit better if he kept on running and found a different nook, but in the end, Kingdom will be able to spot him out, and they at least find something, and that pickoff is actually pretty darn big for them. It's going to buy them a Blink Dagger up on their Shadow Fiend, so maybe you can put this Yules to good use now.
I mean, maybe so, but it just means that the Shadow Fiend is... Oh god, they find Chase. Tidehunter should be tanky, but he's just not. Shadow Fiend though should easily be able to escape though with the Blink TP out. But although it's nice for like some aggression, Blink, Yules, set up that easy Requiem of Souls, for example. If you don't get that combination, if it's like an actual 5-on-5 team fight, how much will he be able to contribute with just such items?
Not sure. We'll just have to wait up towards top. Ancient Apparition, ulted by the Anti-Mage, and he'll be dropped down, but now Beyonce. Low on mana, he's going to have enough for a blink soon enough, and Vengeful Spirit wasn't close enough. In the meantime, Witch Doctor, he gets two-shot by the TA, and now the Shadow Fiend, whole heap of trouble. He has the Yules, going to Yules up to TA and look for the blink out, but can he actually find it? Any way to cancel is from range, not going to be the case. Leo drops him pretty darn low, doesn't have enough backup, however. Leo looks to potentially lose this Aegis. They're going to Requiem on top of him, that's the Aegis down instantly, but then again, the SF dies with the snipers. He's just sitting on the sidelines, blink forward by the TA, one shot, two shot, can pocket down, and that's the gem as well into G7's pockets. Not worth.
Definitely not worth it. The exact opposite of worth even, I'd say. So Leo using that Aegis really well, to be honest, up to another 2,000 gold as well. I mean, Anti-Mage isn't that far behind if you look at the net worth, by about 1,500-1,600. But it's gonna be a hell of a lot more as G7 going for a tier 2, and once the Desolator hits on the tower, suddenly even Kenji, who isn't hitting all that hard, I mean, what, 120 damage? Even that's gonna do a hell of a lot more all of a sudden. He's keeping back top lane, Beyonce will get bash locked, Ice Blast hits, and I guess Spell Shield will be enough to keep him alive for now. If it was Aghanims, it wouldn't be the case, but... well, never mind, he dies anyway, so was just enough. Anti-Mage down, tier 2 tower down, and with that kill, it's only 250 short of Ancient Apparitions, Aghanims.
Yeah, that's scary. That might is paying off big for the AA. That wouldn't have been a kill if that was level 1 ultimate. And in a lot of games it probably would have been, but he has his level 11, so Clay going to collect huge, and that is pretty much his Ags. Just a little bit more, 1 Midas usage, so at the very least, going to be a 23-minute Aghanim Scepter for him.
So, considering that it is a 12,000 net worth lead, XP about 10k, Kingdom, can they come back into this game? Can they just somehow turn the tables?
Yes, but it relies almost entirely on Chase as well as on the Sand King to get a big combination off inside a high ground defense, and then Anti-Mage cleaning up onto everything. They have a window where Templar Assassin isn't going to have BKB, but that window is quickly closing, and even without the BKB, this is a DD on the Templar Assassin. Not sure how many she's had this game. And,
Way too many.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Right now, G7 find themselves 3 tier 2 tower up towards top, and although Kingdom put as much pressure as they can in bottom, it's not enough. G7 are gonna go high ground. Even without the Aegis on the TA, they can very comfortably chip away at this tier 3.
Yeah, Shot already has the BKB as well, so he can be a little bit safer, but Leo with the double damage is taking chunks away from this tower here. Although nobody else is even helping out. Sniper could attack from quite a range, but they just want to make sure that they're not too grouped up for the Ravage, as we do see Anti-Mage just sitting at the sidelines. He is pinged out. I think they might have seen him from the observer ward, but tier 3 is down. They have to make the defense, but oh, Fruits again, no, please. They even wanted to use the Assassinate, but Chote just got the kill before. Range Rex will fall as Leo. Double damage is running out shortly, but man, Fruits, sad life.
It really is. Tidehunter goes through on the backlines, gets a nice Ravage, but where's the follow-up for it? Anti-Mage is coming through, gets the ultimate off on the Void. It doesn't seem to be enough, however. Beyonce is going to lose his life, it seems. They have the center on the backlines, catches out 2 with the Raise. They'll be able to mop up the TA and the Benj. And now Bash is over into Chase. They'll lose the Tidehunter in return. Currently a 2 for 2, looking for the Raise on 2. The Faceless Void going to find it. Double kill for him, but then he loses his life to Kenshi. He's been very comfortably sitting on the sidelines until now. He gets Burrow Strike, but a straight TP away by him is going to make himself safe. 2 for 3 works out pretty well for Kingdom, but not well enough. They lose the range barracks into tier 3.
So Melee Rex was saved at the very least. Pretty nice jump from the Tidehunter as well. Unfortunately, the rest of Kingdom couldn't follow up on that same position, but it still served the purpose of kind of splitting up the lineup of G7. It was a pretty nice Blink Burrow Strike epicenter as well from that Sand King landing on the 2. I think it was the Vengeful as well as the Temper Assassin at the time. But TA still managed to purchase up the BKB even before the death. So next time around won't be half as easy, and if you're G7, you're probably just maybe gonna respawn. Go check if Roshan has spawned as well, because in 30 seconds it potentially can come out straight up. But even without the Aegis, I think if they just go down the top lane again, get melee racks, secure those, what's to stop them? I mean, Ravage won't be there for another 70 seconds.
Especially now if they lose their anti-mage here. He'll blink away, but Templar Assassin's going to chase him with a vengeance. They have the Assassinate after the blink. Meld Strike, he's gone! Or is he? Blinks down to the low ground. Beyonce going to survive at least for now. He's going to straight TP, and I think that's going to be a survival, although only just. Time walk forward. Yeah, just a little too late. Unfortunate.
I was hoping that Ancient Apparition would probably send an Ice Blast flying straight to the base after the anti-mage got the blink to the low ground. He is still sending it flying, but it's a little bit too late, just because Beyonce does have the Vladimir's offering. He doesn't have to wait all the way to full HP to leave the base. So he's already back in the jungle, gonna continue farming up, but we do have the Aghanims on Ancient Apparition, even a gem on him as well. Hand of Midas really paying off, like you said earlier as well. Just, he has, well, not the same amount of farm that Shadow Fiend, thank God for that, if you're Kingdom, but a hell of a lot more than anybody apart from the Anti-Mage or the Shadow Fiend on Kingdom side.
I mean, if you compare his net worth to the Shadow Fiend, it's pretty much equated to how much the SF has in the bank. And as far as effective items are concerned, the Aghanim Scepter on the AA just does so much more than the Yule's Scepter on the Shadow Fiend. I really haven't felt this build be effective, although we did see it a lot inside DAC doing a heck of a lot of work. Just, this game doesn't seem to be that game. Tier 3 tower in mid, going to lose its life as G7 are in a good position and Kingdom just aren't anywhere close. The Faceless Void is currently inside the base. They do mules him up into the Burrow Strike, but right now, I suppose you say Space Grade. Now he pops a BKB and he'll be able to turn as well. He has a Chrono. He gets the Bash. They're going to Death Ward for him. He'll time walk away and TP out. Shodi going to be able to survive while the barracks are going down. Blanket Ravage catches out the poor Sniper defensive swap. Not going to save you from the Anti-Mage ultimate and a couple more right click as Link tries to make it over to the sidelines. 1 raise, 2 raise going to be the end of his life.
It was really space created, although they didn't go for melee racks, they went safe once again. If they had focused from the start on the melee racks, could have gotten that as well. Leo though, oh god, he stays around for a little bit too long, completely out of mana. Does get the blink though, thanks to the refraction changes of course. So he will survive. Radiant Courier also gets sniped in the meantime. Was it the Ancient Apparition getting that one?
I would think so with that haste rune. No, it died here. Creeps?
Oh, I have no idea, but it did carry a BKB recipe for Lee Honki's Shadow Fiend, so he's not gonna have a BKB for 3 minutes, and almost guaranteed G7 will come for a fight before 3 minutes is up.
Yeah, pretty much. Right now G7 are up a full lane of barracks in top, and they're halfway there inside the middle lane. Things are looking up for them. I think the course of action here is go for Roshan. You take it so quickly with the Deso Meld as well as Wave minus armor with plenty of physical damage to back that up, and the perma bashes from Void. Honestly, I don't think it lasts 10 seconds, if even that. Most of these heroes could solo it. So G7, after getting the second life at their disposal, go down towards bottom. Although they might lose a tier 2 tower up towards top for this Roche, I don't even think they'll lose that, now that Templar Assassin's in the pit.
So, who do you give the Aegis to? Is it the TA or the Faceless Void? Or maybe Sniper if he comes close enough?
Yeah, I'd say Sniper, just because he's probably the one not to die, but if not, TA. I think once Void gets off his chrono, his work is pretty much done. And with this Aegis, TA can pretty much go wherever the heck she wants to inside these fights, and probably take 1 or 2 with her before she loses the Aegis, even if she does. We'll just have to see. Mid lane's going to be the course of action for G7, and this melee barrack should not be long for this world.
Yeah, TA probably is like the perfect siege machine with that Aegis. I mean, has the Desolator, so his damaging buildings is a hell of a lot higher than anybody else on G7 would be without the Desolator debuff. So the Aegis, he can just guarantee it, go up to the high ground, don't care about too much about just what happens to him. And that way, the rest of G7, they can stay far enough back, so even if Tidehunter blinks like past the Templar Assassin, just halfway between Templar Assassin and his team, Ravage shouldn't still affect anybody else. Depending, of course, how close by G7 want to be, but theoretically they could completely let the Templar Assassin take this solo and maybe even just lose the Aegis if need be.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Ready is going to be called out by Kingdom. The Anti-Mage has somehow fixed this problem, but he's been having a lot of problems this game. We'll just have to see how this works out. Templar Assassin on the high ground. They have the Sniper on the backlines with his MKB freshly picked up. And although the Glyph is going to be popped, I don't think it's going to save this melee barracks. And it doesn't look like Kingdom are interested in defending. Their SF is happily pushing up towards top in the meantime. Tier 2, even if he gets it for melee barracks, not worth it.
So they've lost 2 sets of racks. If they don't want to fight, I mean, if you're G7 now, you still have the Aegis, everybody's still healthy, you all have the ultimates. Do you back off to the top lane to push that lane out, or are you like, screw this, he's not going to be winning the pushing fight anyway, so we might as well go for the third and final set of racks?
No, I like this. Just smoke up and maybe look for a kill. They have everything at their disposal. Go for the third and final racks. The SF's tower damage is pretty lackluster at this point. All he's dealing with is about 130 a pop, just from Necromastery. No real damage items, and, well, he doesn't even have his BKB. That's in the dead courier right now.
Well, he's probably gonna have it before the third racks will fall, or before the fight for the third racks will commence, so they have a little bit of time. They do find a kill though. They use the Chrono as well, but it's well worth it killing the Anti-Mage, who does not have buyback. Is about 450 gold short of it, so unless they get 2 towers in the meantime within 55 seconds, Anti-Mage unable to buy back, and that 55 seconds should be enough for G7 to just easily get racks.
Yeah, or a free Witch Doctor. Leo going to kill him off very easily, not needing to really spend anything. Has the BKB, he has the Aegis, and they'll go down towards bottom. I think this is just megas. What do Kingdom do? Even though they have the Dream combination with the Epicenter, the Tidehunter Ravage, as well as the Requiem, is that enough? Especially not if he leaves Li Hung. He's down to half HP after 2 hits from Leo.
It's just Templar Assassin peaks so fast, especially with the items he gets, and Kingdom, they're nowhere enough with their own itemization, but the Blink Ravage does come out, catches all 4, but will it even be enough? Leo still has the Aegis. Li Hung will go to the back lines, Yule sceptered up, will get, nope, never mind, swaps back. No Requiem of Souls. Leo in the meantime snatches himself a kill as Ling might go down, but it's only a Vengeful Spirit. It doesn't even matter all that much. Li Hung, he's going to be taken out by Kenji. Does get Burrow struck up, but at the same moment Sand King dies himself, and Aegis is still there.
Yeah, she hasn't been forced to use the BKB. That was not the Dream combo by any means. Blinking from Beyonce is going to go to town onto the Faceless Void, but not enough, especially once Templar Assassin goes through. Is going to eat the Anti-Mage, his ultimate. Shadow Fiend going to unleash Requiem, but only has half souls with this one. They will lose Kenji, but they've already lost their melee barracks. Now with the BKB, Leo is back with a vengeance, kills off the SF, and doing so kills off the Void with that Death Requiem on top of it all. Beyonce still looking for a target to stick on to, but they've gotten megas, so I think at this point G7, as long as they don't die back, it's over. And well, for now it is officially over, as Fruits calls it.
Yeah, it's just Kingdom, they already expended all of their buybacks. Beyonce will even die here once again, so really just extremely well played the draft. It was quite reliant on just having the laning phase work out, getting the farm on all of those cores, but since they got it, they just snowballed completely.
Yeah, both games, the team that had the theoretical weaker draft or harder to execute draft found that window and hit it hard. So, underestimating these teams a little bit. Either way, I think the big story about this game is Shoti in that off lane, definitely making up for that performance, as well as Leo on the TA. 12-1-6. Absolutely snowballing to victory. Thanks for watching. We're going to have some more Dota coming up shortly with X Game versus 4 Friends plus Trilly. So if you are interested in watching, that will be up shortly. So thanks for tuning in. We've been here at HeflaTV 1. If you want to follow us, HeflaTV at Twitter and Facebook, and here on Twitch is where you can find us. And the VODs will be uploaded to youtube.com/HeflaMoke. I've been GrandisV, and I've been joined by Couchor for this series. Any last words?
Nope, nothing. Just appreciate it for the viewers that you watched us, and just have a good one.
Yeah, so see you soon with that next series.